welcome to the first edition of the School Board Report for 2022. I'm Kennedy Smith, and joining me today is John Landers. Nice to meet you, John Landers.
Nice to meet you too, Kennedy. As a former BSTN student, I'm always glad to be back here.
Mr. Landers, with the January meeting, they reorganized the board for New Year, and you have become president, and Mr. Freda is board vice president. You are also the longest serving member on the board. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience?
Sure. I think, well, first off, a school board is required to organize every year and have that meeting prior to January 15th. So that's when we elect a president, a vice president, and do some other procedural things like grant Mr. Saxon the ability to do some common tasks, as well as our treasurer. We're lucky to have a stable and I think a board that works together really well. So we usually rotate through the presidency. That allows all of us to develop that experience. And, very thankful for President Vicki Davis, who had served the last 2 years, and, thankful to be president this year. Like you said, this is my 13th year on the board. I was elected in November of 2009. I'm a class of 2000 graduate, so it's great to be back serving the school district that I grew up in. And, really over the last 13 years, I think probably, pretty much where most of you seniors, probably started in kindergarten or first grade when I was starting on the board, but we've had some great projects, a lot of changes in the district. We've had changes in terms of kind of reconfiguring Center and Glenwood, as well as obviously closing Market Street, which put fourth grade into Center as well. We've had some really great collaborative partnerships with the township in terms of doing some land swaps to allow us to build a new bus garage and for them to build a new fire station near Center, and especially more recently with the land near Market Street to build that new stormwater park. So we're really glad, and we're also really thankful to the community for their support in our renewal levies, as well as with the new levy that passed in May of 2018. So just I know it sounds corny at times, but it's a great place to call home, and I'm glad to be here and to be serving the community.
The January board meeting had a last-minute surprise with severe weather moving in right at the meeting time. How did this affect the meeting?
So one thing we always try to do at our board meetings is to really recognize our students throughout the district from kindergarten, to seniors. And we're hopeful to recognize several groups of students, for their various achievements across the 3As. But, I think as we all noticed, there's a little bit of snow that came up, and I'm pretty sure I think the day after was a snow day. So I'm sure all of you were happy as well. But we decided to table that, which allowed us to just procedurally move it to our February meeting. So we're hopeful to honor those students at those dates. It was just really just about, especially with the weather coming on so suddenly, wanting to make sure young drivers and families could get there safely, and we want people to be there. We don't want to acknowledge individuals in silence or with no one else in a room. We want to make sure they get recognized and we get an opportunity to thank them. So, we're hopeful to have 10 BHS artists who were named Scholastic Art Gold and Silver Key winners. We have 4 fall sports student athletes who were named Player of the Year and Coach of the Year, and a big scholarship winner that we had announced previously. And we also want to highlight Project Stream, which was an amazing day in Mill Creek Park for our students from Glenwood. And, we were just happy to honor that, and especially at a meeting like that where it really hits all 3 of the A's. We have academic success, we have success in the arts, and we have success in the athletics. So it's a great day when you can recognize all 3.
Next year's school calendar has been approved. Why is that important for Spartan families?
Sure, I'd be glad to highlight that. First off, the calendar's been approved. That's a step we do every year, and it's available on the school district website. We usually approve the next year calendar in January. That allows really, families to plan things, to know certain dates. If they want to plan vacations, and especially for families that have graduating seniors to know where commencement is, because you may have families that are coming from out of town, that obviously want to be part of that special day. And I think, as students, yourselves, you probably maybe care a little bit about when the first day of school is, and probably more especially when the last day of school is. So we do want to highlight that the first day of school is August 29th, and the last day for students will be June 2nd, and commencement is Sunday, June 4th. Just to, I think, reinforce, this is for, the graduating class of 2023. The dates for 2022 have already been defined and approved. So just to highlight, this is will be for the class of 2023 or school year 2022-2023.
COVID canceled field trips last year, but I heard they're being approved again.
Sure. I think just, one item to note is that, Mr. Saxton, our superintendent, approves the field trips, and they're included on our board agenda for awareness. I know recently that the band, I believe, traveled to Detroit for a Thanksgiving Day parade, and, we are moving forward with the orchestra heading to Orlando, Florida in early March, and as well as they will be, kind of attending some music workshops and performing at Disney. And during that same weekend, our BHS Chorale will be in Washington, D.C. To attend a workshop and a show, as well as head to, several museums, especially, being in the Washington, D.C. area to take advantage of that. I think for our seniors and our students, that's really kind of, I think, a culmination of their multi-year experience, in our music program. So, we're happy that they have the opportunity to take those trips and look forward to hearing about it. So.
Since we're at the beginning of 2022, do you have any goals or agendas for further years to come?
Sure. Mr. Saxton has a strategic plan for the district. Mr. Saxton really leads, our district, and the board is here to kind of advise and engage and support. So, that strategic plan talks about things, about how do we provide individual learning pathways for all students. It doesn't necessarily need to be, college. It could be different career pathways like apprenticeships or the military. Also engage and continue to improve learning. I think we all realize that the last 2 years have had an impact on education and how we can learn. So how does our school district continue to evolve? What can we do in terms of career exportation and internship opportunities? I'm always personally a fan of learning by doing, and I think that's why something like BSTN is so great. It's not just you're not just reading about doing a television production. You're actually going out and doing a television production and producing it, and I think that's incredibly valuable experience. We also have to continue to monitor and evolve our facilities, and how do we create this 21st century learning environment that goes from things like our safety plan to our HVAC systems, as well as the age of our buildings. And communication is so key anymore, as a school district, as an individual. How do we make sure that we're getting our message out effectively in all of our different channels? We do so many great things in the school district, and we need to be able to share them effectively and connect with our students, our families, our community members, and our alumni that are across the country and across the world. So we have a great team, and obviously all of you here at BSTN, that have the ability to reach a bunch of people through streaming shows and YouTube, and I think, one thing, obviously we need to highlight is that, our school treasurer left, so we've started that process and posted that job and are starting the process of reviewing applicants. That's a very key hire for any school district, and, we're hopeful to, evaluate those candidates, bring candidates in for screening interviews, and, hopefully, have a decision this spring. In the short term, we appointed Ryan Jones, who's the treasurer of the Mahoning County ESC, as our interim treasurer, because a school district has to have a treasurer. It's just required by law. So we're very thankful for our partnership with the ESC to be able to do that, and at no cost to the school district.
Thank you very much, Mr. Landers. Anything else you'd like to add?
Sure. I think, as I mentioned at the start of the program, I started back in the day, at Center as part of the BCMS TV program, and, was part of that program throughout my high school. And it actually allowed me to run my college TV station as well. So I'm just really, proud to be part of this program, and great to be able to see it grow and evolve and do brand new things, and, to have the opportunities to talk to you, Kennedy, and work with your peers. I think these are incredibly valuable skills that, whether you go into media or television production, that really apply to anything you do in the real world. And I think, as we get further into February, I think we're all excited for winter sports are preparing for kind of their tournament play and senior nights. So it's just good to have, to see, our students participate in things and grow and really get these opportunities that make their high school experience great.
Thank you very much, Mr. Landers. We want to remind our viewers to watch these reports once a month on BSTN's YouTube channel, and we will also share the link on BSTN's Facebook page. The school board's regular meetings are held fourth Monday of each month at Boardman High School. You can see the listed dates on the district website. For BSTN, I'm Kennedy Smith.